I watch movies and I love watching movies, and it's one of the things I enjoy doing the most, is so that I can step out of the world that I have to face every day, you know. Again, it's not for everyone. I was extremely wrong. When you're working on a film, you have
no life.
no life. You literally wake up, go to work, sleep. It is constantly moving, constantly changing from one day, from 1 minute to the next.
People kind of think, oh, it's so glamorous, and it really isn't. It looks glamorous, because even I thought, wow, when I first moved to Malta, I'm going to work in films. And then my first job, I was like, oh my God, first of all, this is exhausting.
It's been tough to get there. As I said, there were years where I had no work at all. And
okay, ladies, I have a question. And what is the beauty of being a makeup artist on film set?
it's very rewarding, and I don't know, seeing your name at the end of the film is like...
Yes, it's amazing.
My God.
Hi, and welcome to Empowered Beauty. My name is Nicola.
And my name is Daria.
And today we have another special guest. We have Chantel Busuttil, and she's a film makeup artist. And I'm just going to give you some details of how many films she's done. She's done like around 60 films, which is, yes, I've added them all up. 60 plus, actually. Yes, amazing. And we've worked together on film set, which has been amazing as well. You're a very good boss. She really coordinates everyone and makes sure that everyone's fed, which is very important. And, you know, everyone's happy as well as, you know, getting their job done. So props to you.
Thank you.
I'm very curious to hear your story and your experience because I'm so far away from film environment.
Yeah, it's a surreal lifestyle, isn't it? I mean, I go in and out. I'm not like you because I do other forms of makeup and I do obviously YouTube, and you are solely on film set, if I'm correct nowadays.
I specialize, yes. I mean, I still do some bridal work or fashion shows, or well, actually fashion shows I haven't done in a while, but photo shoots and things like that, yes, I still do. But I specialize mostly in film.
Would it be just can I jump?
Yes, of course.
Would it be a difference between makeup for films and makeup for photo shoots, for example?
Especially at the moment, using HD camera, and the definition is so different to what we see with the natural eye rather than what you see through a lens. So it's, how do you say, the camera catches such more detail that makeup that was done in the past is very different to makeup that we do now for film. The intricacy, the different textures on the skin show. For prosthetics, it's quite hard as well because it has to be absolutely seamless and perfect. While back in the day, it was a little bit easier and heavier. It was more. It could be more theatrical, and it would still look good on the lens. Obviously, filming on older lenses has its magic. You know, it was softer. I mean, I always think, I don't know why, I always think of Elizabeth Taylor in Cleopatra, you know, because that is when it was soft and she looked beautiful and flawless, but makeup then was very different to how it would have to be done now, using HD and using different techniques, using different materials. It's changed quite a bit. But in general, makeup, bridal makeup, fashion show makeup, theater makeup, ballerina theater makeup, monster theater makeup for stage, it's all different.
Yes.
It's like learning a whole new world. So now the difference is broader, but it was always there.
That's why most makeup artists will specialize in a niche or genre.
Yeah.
Because you can't master each and every category because it's so different.
Yes.
And the makeup style is so different. And
Yes.
you will need to master that technique.
Yes, it's super vast. I mean, there's airbrush, there is brushes, there's sponge, there's even just those three techniques in itself.
Even the hand, how heavy or light-handed you are.
Yes.
Like we were saying, you were talking about the lens, different lens. Sometimes when 4D came in, it was weird for our eyes. In fact, you say, oh, it's very home movie.
Yes,
and,
it looks too sharp.
Too sharp and just unnatural in a way.
Yes.
You know, I found it difficult to watch a film at the
Yes.
beginning.
Uh-huh.
Now we're slowly getting used to
Yes.
it. But at first it was like, oh, that's too raw.
Uh-huh. In fact, I put my setting on what's it called? I think movie
Yes,
rather
to
yes,
subdue it a bit.
exactly. So it has a bit of a softer edge and a bit of a dreamier
Yeah,
edge to it. Yes.
like you're really taken away. You don't want to see too much reality.
Uh-huh. In fact, I watch movies and I love watching movies. I mean, it's one of the things I enjoy doing the most. Is so that I can step out of the world that I have to face every day. You know. Not that I'm saying it's bad.
No, but
Very
exactly. I mean, that's
blessed with a
what
lot of
drew you
things,
to
but
film set, because the
yes,
same as
the magic of stepping
the
into a
movies.
different world when you're just sitting down in your home, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like we said at the beginning, we both started quite a few years ago, and it's changed a lot,
Yeah.
immensely, especially in Malta, the film
Yeah.
industry. I kind of stepped out of the film industry, but you kept on going strong.
Yes.
How do you think it's changed in the last 15 years? Because Malta now has joined the Mediterranean Conference Community
Commission. Uh-huh.
Commission, and they've become part of 9 countries, if that's correct, and they've also signed a treaty with England to start making new films as well, in
Yes.
collaboration. So there's a lot of like new opportunity, it seems, happening this year.
Yes.
How do you think
No,
that's going to affect everything?
in the past few years? Yes. Well, I think back in the day, a lot of producers and writers and directors wanted to film here because Vermont was so much quieter, and because of our architecture, and because of certain facilities, we always had the filming tanks. So anything with water, anything historic was always a plus to be done here.
And we spoke English.
And we speak English, so plus there are a lot of talented construction and art department people here. So as a base, that was already enough for Malta to be quite a destination to go. Then there was a bit of a lull for a few years. In fact, in those years, I used to work away. I used to work on yachts.
I remember,
Yes. And then come back every time there was a film, and I had the chance to work on it, and then I would leave again. And that is the time where I got my diploma in LA. But now it's changed because of the rebate that the Film Commissioner has introduced. So
And what, is it more lucrative for local talent, would you say?
it does.
Or is it more lucrative for foreign projects?
It's unfortunately more for foreign, which it has its good and its bad, I suppose. This is going a little bit political.
Getting to the nitty-gritty here.
And I don't understand all the ins and outs of it. But as far as I knew, any foreign production that would come here, they would get a 40% rebate on money spent here. But I think that has changed with being a 40% rebate on everything that is spent, including money spent abroad. I'm not the right person to speak to this, and I don't want to step on anyone's toes or
Of course not. No,
lead
it's
people
more I
in
was
a-
trying to
in
think,
a-
like,
Yes.
how is it changing? Because obviously there's a lot of talent in Malta.
Yes.
And even I've now started to see billboards advertising courses to be a film makeup artist, a set designer in the
Yes.
film industry. So they're really promoting local talent.
Yes.
But are these changes actually implemented to help local people to get on a film and work? Because I remember in our time, 15 years ago, they'd have to do this to try to get on a local production.
Yes. So I think what has changed a lot is due to the amount of projects being done here now, more people that weren't in the industry are trying to try it out and test it out. Because again, it's not for everyone. I was extremely wrong. When you're working on a film, you have
No life.
no life. You literally wake up, go to work, sleep, wake up, go to work, sleep. Literally.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a film that is a 6-day week, not a 5-day week, it's even more tiring.
16 hours a day.
Yeah, usually 80 hours in 5 days. So
Crazy.
sometimes, yes. And that's without commuting. But some people
you
like
should-
it, some
exactly.
people maybe they can't because they have children and stuff. So which is
Exactly.
the reason why you stepped out.
That's
I
why
remember.
stepped back. because
Exactly. No,
It's very difficult to raise a family
in
and
fact, I don't
live
know
that
how.
lifestyle.
I don't know how some of my girls that have come to work and still have children manage. I mean, they're my heroes for me. The thing is that okay, we try to how do you say, advertise working more in the film industry and everything, but a lot of people don't understand. Number one, it's not a full-time job.
Yeah.
It works on projects. It's not constant. The size of filming per day changes. So if I have one day where I have 500 extras, you obviously need more crew. If there are days where there are 10 extras, 20 extras, 1 actor, 3 actors, every time the workload changes per day, the amount of crew needed per day diminishes and increases. So sometimes you might be called in, hi, are you available tomorrow? Because at strange afternoon, the director decided that he needs 500 extras tomorrow, so we need as many people. Sometimes it will be established beforehand, sometimes it's not. So it is constantly moving, constantly changing from one day, from 1 minute to the next. You know, an actor gets injured. So the next day, when we would have planned to have the next 20 days filming with the actor, doing this scene with so many extras and so many crew, has to change now. And the fact that it's so volatile, a lot of people that are not used to it or still getting to learn it, don't accept it,
Yes.
can't understand it. And why you told me that I'm going to work for the next 10 days every... Yes, but...
Certain things are not in your hands.
No. And it becomes very tiring to try to explain this to people. And I mean, I need to sleep soundly at night, but I still have these responsibilities where sometimes I don't, because I think I'm messing with the livelihood of people. But this is how I try to explain that it's not going to be a regular job, that I will do my best to give you the best opportunity. Also, I have priority for people that have been there before.
Of course, have the experience, because you need that experience. It makes your life easier.
Of course, not only my life easier, but with the temperament of today we need them to look dirty. But no, we need blood now, so I need people that know how to do dirt and blood. Already that is different makeup to beauty, fashion. That's already a different type of makeup altogether. Character makeup is very much what we use on film. Doing beards, making beards. The simplest of things. And when you don't have enough all-rounders to sustain you, it becomes too hard, too difficult. So I try to get in a few trainees at a go. Again, I can't get in 20 trainees in the first job. It's impossible. Number one, I have responsibility that the extras or the actors are not 1 minute late on set, and I have to make sure that it's not my fault and that happens, because there's millions of euros and pounds.
Every second counts.
Every second is a waste of money.
Mm-hmm.
Time is money. So I have that responsibility. So I can't have 20, 30 newbies and I'm trying to show them all while I have a queue of 700 extras waiting for me, or an actor, or anyone waiting. I cannot keep anyone waiting. Already there is the stress of sometimes they may turn up late because they may have been traffic, they take longer to put on the wardrobe, or maybe they come to us first and they go to wardrobe second, and so it's all a process, and everyone has to be ready on set by a certain time. As soon as 1 minute late, questions start being asked, and even if it's not your fault, even if they arrived late, most times makeup and hair are the last stop before they get to set. Usually it's always our fault.
Yes, it's not fair.
Somehow or other. So even more, I have to make sure that I cover and have, can I say a rude word? Fuck up time? Mess up time? Always to keep myself covered with that. With regard to the courses, the course that I gave at MFC was specifically to explain the people the nature of how the job works. Because at the end of the day, the best way to learn is for film on work, at work. I mean, I have to have people that have a background of makeup, definitely. At the end of the day, you're using chemicals on people's skin. So that knowledge has to be there. But then I start recruiting.
It's a hands-on.
Yes, and start realizing. The thing is nowadays as well, what has changed a lot is the paperwork. And to be an all-rounder, you need to have a bit of computer skills, no matter what. And you need to be assertive. You need to know how to work with other people. You need to have common sense with how to solve a problem on your own 2 feet without me having to mother you. You know, at the end of the day, it's a job. It's not a hobby. It's work. If you don't have the stamina and certain skills to do it, already not having to do with makeup, you know, learning how to read a call sheet, understanding what the times mean. Sometimes we have a call in the morning, which means we get people ready in the morning. Then we have another call in the afternoon. So I have to make sure I have people that are remaining behind to look after the second flow of people. So I need people that are going to help me with all of this. And you start realizing who has it, who doesn't, who has a bit of humility in wanting to learn, because that's a thing I really struggle with. If you're very experienced with bridal, congratulations. I'm happy for you, because you have to start once out, but don't compare bridal to film work.
No, it's totally different. Even fashion makeup, it's totally different.
Even theater is different
Yes,
now,
totally.
as explained, you know, because of the
even set etiquette, because that is a whole different situation. I mean, you have to
just knowing where to stand,
not to speak, not to make it, you know, not to get offended if someone tells you to shut up.
Yes.
You know,
get out of the way, get out of the shot.
Time is money. You know, you're there to be like a fly in the wall.
Exactly.
Go and do your thing, get completely out of shot and then out of everyone's way, and still know what's going on, still know what the director's doing, see where your actors are.
Yes.
So there's so much that goes into it that people don't realize.
No, and I know for a lot of girls, for a lot of artists, for a lot of girls and boys.
Girls and boys, some of the best makeup artists are men.
Exactly, definitely. Some of the best ways to learn for any artist is being there and being able to say, I don't know enough. I still feel I don't know enough.
Me too.
I still go to work and feel anxious because I don't have full control of certain things. So how much more is it that a makeup artist that has been doing theater for 20 years comes and thinks that she's going to be one of my seniors? I can't do that. Number one, respect for the people that have been there. Number two, because there's so much that you don't know. You don't know what you don't know because you don't know it yet. You know what I mean?
But it's like having a film makeup artist go to the theater.
Yes.
It's not going to be the same.
Especially it's going to be a very big difference.
It's a big difference, a whole difference. You know, theatre is fast. In fact, it was never me. You know, I liked more fashion and film.
Yes.
And it's a whole different environment.
I mean, film is fast, but
it's
in a
fast,
different
but it's
way.
a different way.
Yes, and lighting is so different, you know, so... Yeah, I mean, it's great that he is pushing the industry because, I mean, in the past I had 2-3 years where I wouldn't even have a job. I used to invent work. I used to work in bars, I worked on yachts, I was away from my family for months. I used to do some paintings, I used to invent jobs in the meantime. But I could afford to. There are people that have a family now that can't afford that, and I totally understand that. So,
no, it's not. I mean, people kind of think, oh, it's so glamorous, and it really isn't. It looks glamorous because even I thought, wow, when I first moved to Malta, I'm going to work in films, and then my first job, I was like, oh my God! First of all, this is exhausting. It's like you're put in sometimes in the most like scary situations, you know, like I had done one film mostly at sea and you're hiding inside the cabin, hot, you can't speak. Then you have to go out, do your thing and then go back and hide again and you could be 8 hours at sea, you know.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yes.
And people don't realize, they're like, oh, you were on a yacht for 6 weeks? No, I was hiding in a cabin for 6 weeks. Not the same,
Seeing men's legs
Yeah.
of rowers and them sweating.
And like the camera and the
Okay,
whole
ladies, I
crew.
have a question. And what is the beauty of being makeup artist on the film set?
It's very rewarding, very satisfying. It can be very brutal if you have a hair or eyeliner slightly off and you're at the cinema and you're watching it and you're like, Obviously, maybe other people won't notice it as much, but you know it's there, and you're like, and continuity might be, but it's very rewarding. And I don't know, seeing your name at the end of the film is like,
Yes, it's
oh
amazing.
my God, my name is this. it's that's a nice part of it. And you wouldn't do this unless you loved it.
Yeah.
So that's a nice part of it. If it's something you really want to do, you're a tough cookie,
And that's the thing. You have to be a tough cookie.
you have
I
to.
think that is all makeup artists that I've met have been very easygoing, but also very tough.
Yes.
Because there's that balance that you have to go with the flow, but you need to ride the storm at the same time. Because you could have an actor who's difficult. You could be in a makeup department where you clash, you know. You could have the director you clash as well. There's so many dynamics that you have to face, and you have to be professional.
Yeah.
You have to, whether you're tired, don't feel like it, or having a bad day, you have to keep that smile on your face and, okay, I'll figure it out. I'll work through it. It's very challenging. But then on the other hand, you could have a great crew,
Yes.
great actors,
Yes.
great department, where it's
Yes.
just like, oh my God, I'm living the dream.
Yes. Yes. Still tough with long hours.
Long hours, but it's a pleasure.
In fact, that's another way I'm very careful of who I put in on certain days, because I have to be careful of certain characters, or at least I sit them on separate parts of the room, or in a big room, On the other hand, though, I don't have the time and the ability of dealing with certain drama. So sometimes if I know someone has had a fallout with somebody else, I say, you want to work, make peace, or don't speak to each other, and that's it. Or I just try to keep that. Sometimes we have difficult people. I mean, we're
Human
artists.
nature. Yeah.
Not only
A bit of temperament.
Not only that human nature, we're artists, so we're all a bit woohoo. So sometimes it doesn't always.
Move the emotions,
Yes.
life is
So
awesome.
I try, but sometimes it gets to me, and I mean, I'm very nervous. I'm a very nervous person. I have to be very organized, and
You
sometimes
have a lot of stress and responsibility, I
yes,
can imagine.
because it's not only doing the makeup, it's the time, making sure they're not dealing with people's characters. The materials didn't arrive from abroad, this, that, and the other, and sometimes I am short and curt. But as you said,
No, I mean, if you've been in this industry
You
for a
have to
long
be
time,
tough.
you know,
yes,
like you don't take it personally.
yes,
There's a line that that person is stressed and they need you at your best, and try to take that stress off them so you all work cohesively.
yes,
Or you can be sort of a bit childish in a way and say, oh, it's me, but then you're not suited for this industry, because it's not, it's not personal.
No.
It's the constraint that you are under and the stress that comes
Yes.
with it, and then afterwards you'll sort of be tapped on the back and say, well done, we did it.
yes, no, totally. But yes, in that moment, you feel like, oh my God, what am I doing here? But as I said, then you get the reward at the end of it, especially if it's a film that does well, if it's a film that is looked up to because it has maybe a really good, feel-good story to it, or that it touches people's hearts, or that it's artistically beautiful. So then that is the reward then. But I think you need to have a bit of love for film to really...
Yes. You have to be in love with the magic of it.
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm a great film buff.
Totally.
But to be honest, if we're going to really be honest, they don't make films how they used to make films.
No, you still have the great movies that happen, but a lot of content is not as it was before. No, but we also have more access to more content nowadays.
Yeah, so I think there's a line that they're producing a lot, so there may be...
Yes, because there are a lot of platforms that are at the touch of your fingers, you know? I mean, in the past, you would either go to the cinema to watch a good film, or you'd watch what is available on TV. And what is available on TV used to be the good films that were at the cinema, right? Now you have Netflix, Prime, Disney,
Apple, so much.
you know, and each platform needs to have their own content. Some of their content is great, some of their content isn't as good, but I think they still do certain movies with love and passion in a different way. Hopefully it won't die and get any worse.
Yeah, because now, I mean, as the whole world knows, they're on strike. So, and I can understand why they're having the strike, you know, for the actors and for the writers.
Yes.
And there's a whole issue with AI as well, and we need to put a certain line, draw the line in the sand and say, you know, if we're not careful, things are going to go a little bit crazy.
Yes.
But what do you think obviously you're not working at the moment because you're kind of on strike. So what do you think kind of the future will hold?
For makeup artists?
For the whole industry.
Because even makeup can now be CGI. I mean,
AI's taken every department.
It has touched every department.
Yeah.
The thing is, this is one thing I find about humanity. So create something to help us, and then we abuse it.
And abuses us.
And it abuses
That's what's
us.
going to happen now.
So we wanted AI to help us to
fix the tweak.
To make it a little bit more beautiful in digital, in filming as well. We have AI for, I'm sure, directors and
I heard
everything.
The new Indiana Jones, they used AI to make Harrison Ford
look
younger. And he was really
CGI,
against it.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Was he against it?
He was against it because he said, you know, like, why?
This is me.
And why couldn't you do it with just makeup, like the old ways?
Good old days.
You know?
Another actor, I mean.
Or,
No, Indiana Jones is not Indiana Jones without Harris.
Exactly.
No way.
I feel you're there. I feel you. I grew up watching
still
Indiana
beautiful.
Jones, and exactly, he's just a good red wine.
Yes,
he's
totally.
so handsome.
Totally. But like I didn't know that. But like everything was great. So I don't know. A stupid thing. Facebook. I'm connecting with people I didn't used to so easily in the past, and I've made a lot of friends because I've lived away for many years. So Facebook was there to connect. Now there is scam. They try to take over your
Details.
your profiles. I mean, why?
There's bots. There's bots on the internet now. I mean, it's crazy. You don't know if someone is real or not when someone contacts you.
You know, it's like, so we create something and then we abuse it. We create
It's like
something.
Frankenstein.
But do you think
you play with monsters, it will take over and be scary.
But do you think
Exactly.
AI can replace completely makeup artists? So wouldn't be a day when we don't need
I mean,
I hope
professional
not.
anymore.
I hope not for
I
our
don't
sake.
see a limit to AI anymore, the way it's progressing. I mean, now it wouldn't make a good end result on its own. You still need the artist first, and then with tweaking it. But I mean, there are Photoshop artists that can really tweak everything. So I wouldn't put it beyond that eventually, just like they try to push writers out of work, and you know, they could push anything out of work.
On the subject, I know someone who's a graphic designer, and it's all done with AI and on the computer. I mean,
I'm an artist, I don't understand much with it, so
Okay.
maybe I should start.
And how are you seeing a role of makeup artists to reinforce a character, or
like how would you? So if you get a script. And you have a meeting with the director, and they kind of want you to help them create a character.
Yes.
What would be the first? I think that's what you're trying to say. What would be the first? Like, how would you start your first steps to creating this character?
So
and liaisoning with
first,
the
I
director.
read the script and see what kind of mood the script is. then yes, then you have to meet with the director and see what his vision is. But besides that, then there is also the factor of who is cast, what makeup limit maybe the actor is willing to go to. Maybe there are actors that don't want prosthetics on their face. Maybe there are actors that can't cut their hair because straight after they have something else, so wigs are needed. They can't shave their beards because they feel ugly without a beard while the director, so that is where you have to apply a beard. But then it's not only the design, you also have the budget.
Yes.
So if the director, for example, wants an age makeup and it's a big age gap, not going from like 16 to 20 or 16 to 30, it's proper aging, for example, from 40 to 80. It's one of the hardest makeovers to do. Aging is difficult to get realistic.
Without going too much, eh?
Without keeping it still them. The eyes change, so you need contact lenses. I don't know if you've ever noticed an old age makeup, but the eyes still look bright and white. The edge of the iris starts bleeding, the white goes a bit yellowish, there's more veins in the eyes, and small detail like that. The teeth change, shape of teeth change, color of teeth change, ears change, nose, a lot of things change.
And you have to take care of all of it.
So that is a full makeup. Oh. So either and you need a certain budget for that. You need live casting. You need full sculpting of the face. You need someone who's good at sculpting, and the materials are expensive. And especially if you're going to do it, if you're going to film that once, twice, 3 times, that is for old age makeup. So it's really nice to be called a designer and be called in to design a film and work close-handedly with the director, but it also depends on budget. It depends how much time there is to prepare. It depends if you have the same vision with the director. Well, you're working for the director at the end of the day, so you have to do what he wants. The only hard part is making a department understand the difficulties the other department has. But then there are directors that leave you free, and you can really start to create a character yourself. Again, depending on budget is what's going to give you the freedom of going all the way or not. Depends on your crew members, different people's skills, people that are good with beards, for example, people that are good with prosthetics, people that are good with character makeup. You can create a lot of beautiful makeup just with character makeup. I mean, you can change a person completely. And I find hair changes a person completely as well. So working hand in hand with the hair department is nice to create something together. And then you have the costume department, which you also have to work hand in hand in. I mean, the costume generally depicts a lot, especially historic films. It depends how close the director is going historically. If he's going
like full-on period,
a lot of the mood, a lot of the look does come from costume. Hopefully you have nice costume people to work hand in hand with, and you can communicate well with them.
Yes.
and you can create art together, and that is when it's really, really
the magic comes together.
And it's nice that you work with different departments and end up creating something together. And one thing joins the other. Yeah. So it has to be a complete work of art. So if something stands out, even if you just see a fashion shoot, sometimes you see a fashion shoot, that's nice, and then you see a fashion shoot where you can tell that
everyone collaborated together.
Yes, the vision was seen together, or at the end result is what came together, and you created a painting, literally. So
it's art at the end of the day.
Yes,
it's another form of art.
Yes, it is quite.
I'm curious, what was the most interesting maybe film to work on, or you can mention few,
Uh,
or you're proud of being
how funny.
part of.
It's like when my brain goes blank. What did you work on?
Well, recently, just to list a few, you worked on Jurassic World Domination, and that was difficult, I
Yes.
think, because that was in the middle of COVID.
That was at the start of COVID. That was the first time we went back to work when COVID started.
So how was that? That must have been very trying, because you were all in new territory in a way.
Yes, very, very hard. In fact, a lot of what was meant to be filmed in Malta was scrapped off. We worked with second unit. Still, it was nice
Fun.
to watch, and nice to see.
That's I love it when we worked on Troy, and
Yes.
when it's a massive production like that, I think they're the best. 'Cause
Yes.
It's just such an experience.
Yes. Challenging and exciting at the same time was Napoleon, which should be coming out soon. And it meant a lot to me because the English crowd supervisor handed over the makeup crowd supervisor position to me when I came to Malta. So we started in England, and then she gave me the responsibility of that over here. So obviously I feel a little bit more, how do you say, proud of it
course.
finally after all these years of working my way up. Plus, the period of Napoleon is quite hard. It's quite a difficult historical film to work on because there's the uniforms, there is the armory, there is the civilians, trying to get the period correct, and the white wigs and all of that. So that was hard. Again, you have to follow what the director's vision is. But I think it will be a beautiful film to watch. Ridley Scott. So Battles and Ridley Scott go hand in hand. They're his I think he's a master at it. So I think that one is the most so far, I think.
And do you have any advice for our viewers? Because obviously you, being camera ready, you have certain skills that maybe the average makeup artist still needs to learn. How would you get someone camera ready, but with that flawless look? Do you have any tips or any secrets that you can share?
Female or male?
I'd say female more. I mean, you can throw a male advice as well, but let's start with female, because I think that's what most women are looking
can
for.
take it for hours.
Yes,
When we're feeling out.
that's the thing. You can be a
Podcast.
makeup artist for 20, 30 years, but you're always learning. Things are always changing. I'm always on Instagram and TikTok trying to look at
Yes.
techniques, because things are always changing
All
and
the time.
evolving.
But
you know?
that's art.
That's art,
That is
exactly.
what-
Even hairstyles, I like to look,
all the time. In all creative worlds, you have to keep researching, looking. Yeah, if you get lazy, you get stagnant.
Exactly.
Camera ready. For generally men, don't overdo it. Especially with the HD. I think it's better a bit less than a bit more for men, for me.
And you have to be careful of the stubble and the hairline.
Stubble, hairline, eye drops, very important for cast, even for yourself. Bright eyes make a big difference. The patches really work well. They really do pep up around the eyes. That's more for women, I guess. Or even men.
I would say for men as well. We've
actually,
met
yes,
a few
it's true.
vain actors.
Not only vain, I think the hours are long,
Yes, of course.
eye bags, lack of sleep, not eating
And you
healthily.
know that everything's going to be amplified
Yes.
on a big screen. So
Yes.
yes, who wouldn't want to
Yes.
plump up?
Another thing is whatever you use needs to be fine. I'd rather use fine material and fine concealer and fine foundation and be able to manage it and work it slowly, work it up slowly, rather than piling on or using something heavy, because it's more likely to show on camera, especially now, as we mentioned before. So I think those are my...
And for women, would it be slightly different? Or the
For
same?
women, the same, yes. And very important to moisturize. Always wash your face before you go to sleep.
Yes. There's like an echo in one word, exactly. And it's true. I watched something recently, and this woman was giving advice from grandmas and what we should be taking into this day and age. And the one advice that she said that was really like at the top of the list was moisturize.
Moisturize.
Moisturize
Yes.
from top to toe.
Yes.
Stay hydrated, I guess.
It's more because obviously stay hydration is for internally, and
Yes.
it does help a
Yes.
bit. But if you don't moisturize your skin,
Yeah.
it's not going to be the same as just drinking. Because there are people who have dehydrated skin and they say, "But I drink 8 to 10 glasses
Yes.
a day." It's still not enough. You
Yes.
actually need to hydrate
Both.
your
Both are
skin.
important. So, yes, drinking water is...
Survival.
Yes, but even on set, we, especially in Malta, we film a lot outside, so the weather and everything, it tires you. The wind, even just wind. Or,
Yes, I've been wind chapped.
Yes, so I can't think of anything else. So
How would you
I
deal
think
with heat? Because we are living in a hot country, so obviously makeup is melting, I can imagine.
heat. So first, number one, you have to make sure you use sun protection. And that is the most important.
She looked at me like that because it's my mantra.
Every episode she keeps repeating.
Did her head in. It's
protection.
always the same.
Yes, winter and summer, but especially summer and especially spring, because your skin is fair from not seeing the sun for long, and then suddenly, especially in Malta, it goes from winter to summer almost. The UV goes up straight away, and that is when most people get sunburnt, and really badly sunburnt, because it won't be hot as well.
Yes, and that's the misconception that you think
Yes.
it's sunny, but it's a nice, like,
Exactly.
breezy day, and that's when you get the sun the most.
Yeah.
Your
Yes.
skin is not radiant because
And you've
lost all your
conned a bit.
melatonin.
You're conned a bit because you think, oh, it's sunny, but I'm not going to get burned. But yes, the sun is still at a
Yes.
strong factor.
And in fact, I have this argument with a lot of cast that come and like, no, I want to get a bit of tan. I'm like, no, you don't, not now. So I'll be trying to pile on oil-free sunblock with a high factor, which now a lot of more companies are actually doing, because if it's too oily and then you have to apply makeup on top of it, it will move and won't keep your makeup good for being somewhere hot. So you have to counteract it. Then you also have all the time patting. You also have to make sure that the actor is under an umbrella in between takes, because for continuity reasons they can't change color.
Exactly.
Yes.
I had an actress who left for 1 week,
Okay.
dyed her hair, came back, and we were like, your hair's changed. Oh no, I didn't do anything. And then afterwards, oh no, I just went to do like a
Few
one
highlights.
or two highlights.
You like?
And I'm like, thank God I'm not here. Thank God they're separated in this film. But it was a big problem because
Of
she went
course.
from like a strawberry blonde to a peroxide blonde. I mean, how
Wow.
do you know? Thank God it
you
was
have
just,
to.
we had to do a week. But it was
Yeah.
it was a problem. It was a delay. I mean, but thank God the hair and makeup was separate on that film, because
Okay.
sometimes hair and makeup would be
Yes.
under the same umbrella.
Yes. Still, for something like that, I would call someone that specializes
no,
in
no.
color, for example, and let them deal with it. Because you need a professional to sort that out, either wig or re-dyeing it back. Something I don't understand in.
No, exactly.
But then
me
you
neither.
can
But then
careful
you
to
have
harm
to
the hair and
have to let them, because obviously
yes.
she went with the intention to lighten her hair, not
Yes.
thinking that she's going to probably get in trouble when she comes back.
Yes. So
So
you
yeah,
have to
these
take a
are
lot of things into consideration.
yeah, and
all
you
aspects.
have to walk on eggshells,
Psychological.
because it's like you don't want to
Yes.
offend anyone, but then you're thinking, holy moly, what are we gonna do?
Yes.
This is a big problem, you know.
yes. Weather is going back to
The sunblock.
yes, weather makes affects makeup a lot, especially when you're filming outside. If it's too hot, makeup melts. If it's too cold, things freeze, or you feel uncomfortable. So filming in studios can be a lot more controlled, and everything lasts better. Wind spoils hair, wind in the eyes makes your eyes. So a lot of things to take into consideration, and you become literally I feel like a mummy to extras and stunts, and a PA to cast when I become their makeup artist, because you still want to protect them as well, not getting sunburned, not feeling cold, being hydrated and everything. So I work closely with personal PAs as well, but when it comes to extras as well, make sure that they're not getting sunburned. On the last film, we bought copious amounts of transparent sunblock, transparent spray sunblock, again to try and counteract because of the makeup melting in the sun and sweat and this and that. And then you have the problem that the spray, it can go in their eyes, so you have to be careful how to spray next to other. So a lot of things, yes. And as Nicola was saying about hair changes or skin color changes, men, you have the problem with beards. Again, I mention beards a lot because a lot of people don't think that beards are part of
even a
something.
stubble. If you have a 2-3 day stubble and then they've come shaven, it's like, okay, now we have to add stubble.
Yes.
And you have to factor into that
Yes.
makeup time that maybe you've given them 10 minutes.
Why instead
Now you
need
have to add 20
or half an hour to lay on a beard.
And how usually it takes to do makeup for an actor?
It depends. It depends on the
Normal.
need. Can take
Without complications.
10 to an hour. 10
without
minutes to an hour.
complications, basic makeup on a male, and you don't have to shave, trim, color or whatever. 15 minutes. Female, again, already beautiful lashes, no skin problems, shaped eyebrows. I would say about 30 to 40. But then again, it depends on...
No tattoo covering as well, because that's a massive one these days.
Tattoo
covering, because
you
that
have
takes time.
Yes.
You've experienced
And
that a
those
lot.
long hours, so you have to stay during the filming process, obviously.
course.
So you have
need
the pre makeup and hair, then you've got the actual filming, which half would stay in location and half will go on set, and then you have to take off sometimes as well afterwards
Direct then.
to do it. So that's why it ends up being a 16-hour day. Because
Yes.
if you're filming for 8 maybe or 10, 8
Minimum
to 10,
usually.
you have that
10
6
to 12.
hours before and after, and then get ready for the next day.
Yes.
So that's why it's very challenging and life consuming.
Yes. Sometimes you have to reset the hair. People need to reset wigs if they're using wigs. We need to reset beards if we're using beards. We need to sometimes fill prosthetic pieces that have to set over. Sometimes you get replicas of prosthetic pieces, so you have them ready for the next day, but you still have to fill them for the day after, for example. So there is a lot of prep for set work, changes as well, continuity. We don't film in order. We could start from scene 90 and go back to scene 1 and then go back to scene, depending on the location. We usually film by location, and by cast availability, by weather, so you never film, very rarely do you film scenes in order, so that changes continuity. Then you have to direct at the end of the day, and then you have to prepare for the next day, and then you go home to sleep.
Sleep. Pass out.
Waiting for reward.
Exactly. And then if you have anyone significant in your life, it's like, hi, bye.
If that, sometimes.
But it's a crazy world. But thank God, people like you are, committed.
What I'm hearing, you have to really have a passion
Yes.
for it.
Yes.
Yes.
Anyone
Yes.
in the film industry, I think they
Yes.
are very
Anyone.
passionate.
From ADs to PAs to costume to the riggers to the construction that starts so many months before us to get a set ready sometimes. So if you don't love it or at least find it interesting, I don't think you would do it or not do it for long. Maybe you experience it for some time and say, okay, I've experienced this, now it's time to move on.
That's okay.
Yeah. No, I think everyone that is part of it, catering, I mean, we have caterers that look after us for food and stuff and coffee and, you know, unless they liked it, I don't think they would actually be there for it.
No, it takes a whole village
Yeah.
to come together and work as a team, that everyone's happy, functioning. But yes, I do believe, I think it looks so glamorous on the
Yes.
outside, but once you're in it, unless you love it or get a buzz from it, or, you know, like you said, there's some kind of satisfaction, it's very challenging.
Yep. Yep.
But I mean, for you, it must have been
I am
totally
impressed because obviously when I watch
on
film, I see a whole picture and I don't focus on makeup. Sometimes, yes, it's impressive and you pay attention without going into details. But what I'm hearing, it requires a lot of preparation, a lot of people involved, a lot of thoughts, probably research. I believe when you worked for
Yes.
Napoleon,
Yes.
obviously you had to go
Yes.
to archives or have any ideas
Yes. Yes.
of their look.
Yes, even in that time, it's a hard time to film because things changed a lot. Even just uniforms. In fact, there are costume people that look after only uniforms. That's their niche. That's what they do. They're the army costume people. That's
because
what
it
they
was
do.
so diverse. You know,
No, but even on other films, they specialize in
just
that.
in military costume.
That's it. Different militaries, but always it's a niche of itself.
And do you have your own niche or something which you would like to do in the future which you haven't done yet?
That's a very good question.
I don't know how much I'm going to be able to wake up at 4 a.m. for work.
After taking a bit of time off.
No, in general. So I hate waking up early. Everyone knows this about me. I'm like the worst.
Well, it is very difficult to get up at 4 a.m. Let's
Can
be
imagine,
real. I mean,
It's a struggle for me. And maybe at one point I might get tired of the stress. In fact, sometimes I say, this is the last film! But I've been doing it for 22 years now, on and off. In those years where I used to work on yachts, I used to take a break for some time. But I don't know, so far I stick to it, I think.
you're happy where you are.
I think.
But is there any bucket list, sort of what you see for yourself in the future?
Still related to arts. I don't really have a business mind, so
Most artists, that's what we were just speaking about in our previous episode.
Yes.
That most artists, if you're creative, you don't have that
You
business.
go with the flow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your brain
but-
functions differently.
Totally.
Because I'm the same.
Yes.
I can come up with ideas all the time.
yes.
But put me down and give me figures and have to sort of do something business orientated. I'm like, first of all, I'm bored.
Yeah.
I get bored very
Yes.
easily. And it's like I'm swimming against the ocean, you know, where it's something creative. I could be hours, you know, and I
Yes.
just throw myself in.
No, but even
So-
gift of the gab with business stuff. In fact, I'm very bad with the business side of this.
Your job.
Yes.
I understood. The most important is the process. As you said,
Yes.
when you're there, that's all. You don't think how you
No.
create it. You're just
Yes. Exactly.
in the moment.
Yes. Yeah.
I think.
Amazing. So I hope our viewers had some vast insight into the film industry and being a professional makeup artist for film as well. It sounds glamorous. It's not as easy as it looks, but I think if you're an artist and you're really passionate about film, it's an interesting life. It's
Yeah.
you say your life was sort of, you had amazing moments, you've had trying moments, and it's a journey.
So
Yeah, it's
so watch film, you have your name there.
Yes.
yes.
Yeah. It's been tough to get there. As I said,
Can
there were
imagine.
years where I had no work at all, but eventually, yeah.
I think it's with anything, any career like that is creative, let's say, not, any creative, if you're an artist,
Yes.
it's not an easy road.
No.
It's not going into a corporate or
No.
kind of that
Yes.
business where, it is step by step. This is, you're creating your own way, in a way.
It's been a beautiful journey. I wouldn't have, and I've learned so much and so much in detail because I climbed so slowly that sometimes I feel a little bit bad for people that don't have the chance to grow slowly because of financial reasons, because of this, because of that, because of anything. Because, as we said, art keeps changing and diversifying so much, and the way filming has evolved, has changed so much that even though it took me so long, I appreciate every moment of the step that I've taken. So yes,
It's amazing.
it's literally a journey.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everyone's life is a journey, but
Yes,
I think film is kind of, and I think it tests you whether you want to keep on that journey,
Yeah.
because it's not easy, like you mentioned, there's so many factors that can be difficult to keep as a career.
yeah.
So the fact that you've stayed the course, that's to be commended.
Yeah, thank you.
And obviously, we are wishing you many more interesting projects.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
It was a pleasure. Really, really enjoyed it. I hope that we gave you a nice insight into makeup artistry and the film industry. If you'd like to see more content, please like and subscribe. Follow us on our social media handles, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
See you. Bye.
Bye.